Hi everyone, my name is Phil Brooks. I'm a senior software engineer at Red Hat. I'm going to be taking you through a short video showing you how to set up a mobile development environment using Minishift on your local machine. Minishift is a tool that helps you run OpenShift locally by starting a single node OpenShift instance inside a VM. And the mobile core is a series of features built on top of OpenShift that are targeted at aiding mobile app development. Before we can start the Minishift with the mobile core, we'll need to first of all install Minishift and the mobile core add-on and configure them to run the mobile core on your local machine. It's worth noting that some of the steps in this process can take a bit of time. For the sake of the video, I've edited them out, but when you're running this locally, you'll need to wait for those steps to complete before proceeding. So first of all, I'm going to take us through installing Minishift to your local machine. To do this, we want to go to the Minishift repo in GitHub. In a browser, that's github.com/minishift/minishift. In here, there's the releases page that you can browse to. And at the top of this page is the latest release. There's a tar.gz file for either Mac, Linux, or Windows operating systems. So in my case, I'm going to download the Linux tar.gz file. You will then want to extract that and then move the binary from the extracted directory to somewhere on your executable path. If I run which Minishift now, you'll see that I have access to that. Okay, that's Minishift successfully installed. Now that we have Minishift installed, the next step is to clone the Minishiftmobile core add-on repo to your local machine and then install that into the Minishift binary. So to do that, in your browser, you want to browse to github.com/aerogear/minishift-mobile core-add-on. Click on this clone or download button and copy the URL. And then however you prefer to clone a GitHub repo, you should do that now. I prefer to do it with the CLI. Now that that is done, we can use the Minishift binary to install that add-on into Minishift by running Minishift add-ons install and then the directory of the repo that we just cloned. Now that that's done, we can see it listed in the Minishift add-ons list. See here, and it's currently disabled. So the next step is to enable that add-on with Minishift add-ons enable Minishift mobile core add-on. If we do a Minishift add-ons list now, you can see that the Minishift mobile core add-on is enabled. Now that we've finished installing Minishift and enabling the Minishift mobile core add-on, the next step is to install a virtualization tool onto your computer that will allow Minishift to run the virtual machine. If you go to the docs.openshift.org website, under the Minishift section in the Getting Started, there's a Setting Up the Virtualization Environment section. Work through these documentations to install a virtualization driver onto your computer, and then work through the Setting Up Minishift to use the virtualization tool that you've installed. This is required for Minishift to be able to function, so I'd recommend coming through these documentations before continuing. Once that's done, the next step is to configure the amount of resources that we're going to make available to the Minishift VM. We do this using the Minishift config command on the command line interface. If we go Minishift config set CPUs and set those to 4, and also set memory to 4096. Finally, we want to configure the environment variables that we're going to expose to the mobile core add-on. We do that with Minishift config set add-on env, and the value here is a comma separated list of key value pairs. We start with the container underscore repo underscore username equals and a username that you can log into Docker Hub with. I'm going to fill in some dummy values here. And then a comma with no space following the comma, and then container underscore repo underscore password, and the password for the previously supplied username. And then finally we want to put in the console image, and this is the Docker Hub image that will serve the OpenShift UI. In this case I'm going to set it to aerogear/origin web console, and the tag I'll use as latest. Now that that's done, the final step is to set an environment variable that Minishift checks for using the experimental features that we will require for Minishift to be able to bring up the mobile core. This is the Minishift underscore enable underscore experimental, and that needs to be set to Y. Now that we've finished configuring Minishift to run Minishift and the mobile core, the final step is to start Minishift, and the command, as you can see on the screen, specifies that the OpenShift version is 3.9.0 and the extra cluster up flags should be service catalog. It's important to note that if you've been using Minishift in the past, you must stop and delete your existing Minishift before starting this Minishift. And if you're using an older version of Minishift than 1.16, then this extra cluster up flags does not work this way, and I'd recommend upgrading Minishift to the latest version. Now that Minishift has finished provisioning, it will tell us an IP address that it has started on. If we take that IP address and browse to it using a browser, it will tell us that the connection is not secure, but this is expected and you can add an exception for that. The next step then is to log in as the developer user and using any password. In here you will see that the mobile tab is available in the catalog with various services and client apps available. If we provision one of these into a new project, which I will call mobile, and we'll also provision the FHSync server service into that same project. We can carry on to that project now and see the Android app has actually finished at this point, so we can see the details of that here, with the mobile clients being part of the mobile UI element installed by the mobile core add-on. And the FHSync server has started, and here we can see the integrations, the mobile integrations are available for that too. So that concludes the video introduction to a mobile development environment on Minishift. I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, please do feel free to get in contact. If you would like to read more about using Minishift, the documentation is available at the GitHub repo, github.com/minishift/minishift. And if you'd like more information about using the mobile core add-on for Minishift, the documentation is available in its GitHub repo at github.com/aerogear/minishift-mobile core-add-on. Thanks for your time. Bye.